Welcome to the Two Boots Word Vault podcast. On February 22nd, 2026, my wife Dalyce and I hosted another Cottage Salon Poetry Scrum with poets Michael Moos, Donna Isaac, and Maureen Skelly. Here's my first selection, and Dalyce's violin composition, Embercomb, to begin the reading. One of the things we always do, because Dalyce is a musician and children's book author, if it's a night of poetry like today, she gets to play one song. If it's a music event, I get to read one poem. That way we keep our chops going. So Dalyce, are you ready? Yeah. Okay. I think the piece she decided to do back in 2010, she and I were in England, and the storyteller Martin Shaw, he was going to tell the tale of Parsifal starting at 10 o'clock, and it would last 5 hours of storytelling. But we're over there. Martin Shaw, he came to Dalyce and said, Dalyce, I need you to play something sad before I get started. Embercomb, Dalyce Elliott's composition. Now, I just wanted to point this out. Our good friend Thomas R. Smith just put together this book of unknown essays by Robert Bly. This is a reviewer's copy. It'll be out March 26th. Most of you know that I've been sitting around Robert Bly for a long time.
What's that called?
This is The Garden Entrusted to Me. Yeah, I mean, every time I read Robert's prose, it just sends me off. Then I go into the poetry, and it sends me further off and further down. There's an essay in here that is, Thomas formed it into an essay. It was a presentation at a university. It's on the vocation of poetry and what it's like, poetic life. And that's the subtitle of this. Essays on Poetry and the Writing Life. In that, Robert says that there are 10 labors in a poetic life. I decided, well, I don't have a new book to push or anything, so I'm just going to take his 10 labors and see if I have a poem that fits that. Now, my life is much smaller than Robert's, my material is much smaller than Robert's, but it still fits. And so, the first labor, know the history of poetry in your language. So this is my poem, Homage to Whitman. This day, this arch of birch over the log pile, this large sky as blue as a sunfish fin, this pine grove as green as a hunter's coat, this bluff, this corn, this mud-wrinkled road where immigrant Swedes were captured by the hills, ravines, creeks, and oaks by beauty. This melting snow, this thawing ice, this heart of mine, twisting, turning, dangling, ringing, watching, and singing in the clasp of beauty's large fist. I eat beauty, I breathe beauty, I rub beauty onto my chest hairs. The loping dog, the horned ram, the sleek Ford pickup, the echoing chortle of a strutting tom, the tote fields, the cut stalks. I love the curve of the contoured rose. The rattling maize leaves slice into my heart. The plum bush swings its thorns into my throat. Beauty infects me. I accept the natural hypodermics, all briars and canes, nettles and thistles, dried and dead and working. These skin strippers, these clothes terrors, the ones who wish me naked with them. I love too these stink pots, this manure bed, this nest of a possum, rank with winter refuse, this dormant pile of rot, this embraceable torso, this limp cock, this stirring, cracking, shuddering heart opens for them all. Come in, maple sap, lanolin, wet resin, cedar scent, birch bark, elder root, ash gatherer, tractor hum, horse fart, skunk tread, and pocket gopher mound dust. Put me in your furry mouth and wrap me in your diaper. Bathe me in your silky hide and scrub me with your stars. Yeah. So, the second labor. Know not only the poetry in your own language, but in other languages. Gosh, almost 20 years. In 2008, I started looking at the poems of Ibn Azm from 1,000 years ago, an Andalusian. And I took the literal translations from A.R. Nickel, which were done published in 1927. And so I was playing with those, and these are my versions. This is actually an ancient song that was used by Ibn Hazm, who was an Andalusian, born 995. You are a gazelle like the full moon. You're a gazelle like the full moon. You're the sun breaking above the dark clouds. You've inspired love in my heart with your contagious stares, and your body is as beautiful as a straight branch. I've humbled myself to you with foolish naivete. I've yielded like someone crazed by lovesickness. So come to me, darling, in the appropriate way. I don't want to be with you in a forbidden way. The third labor, agree to be a musician. So this is a poem that a couple friends of mine and I put into a song, but I'm going to read it as a poem. I want to play my black guitar to a God who listens, but he hides in a hammock that's slung from the stars, and I can't find the moon in the sky. I want to play my black guitar to a God who listens. My faith falters. It really happens, and I can't wake my wife to my pain. Swans are sleeping in the shallow water near freezing Alma. A lonesome hound howls down the coulee, and the songbirds have long flown south. I want to play my black guitar to a God who listens. I'm a stick in cold ashes. My heart's a gray river. The fire has gone out from my soul. I want to play my black guitar to a God who listens. I want to play my black guitar, but it's broken. So then the fourth one is know the mystery of the 7 holy vowels. There's a great book, Jocelyn Godwin, about music and the vowels. So this is one. Joy is shy. Because joy is shy, it hides from the world, and it's welcomed. Sometimes it frightens us. When the comic delivers his punchline, or the old pro hits a walk-off homer, joy looks out from behind his eyes. Joy comes with the fireworks which every small town reveres. It lights up the children from inside. It sees itself from one set of eyes to another, and once let loose, it exhausts itself with pure laughter and love. So the next labor was learn how to recite. And we did that on the radio. I learned how to recite, putting platters of music down and reading poems on top of them. The blues was my favorite, playing those long blues songs and then reading songs over them. Here's another one. This is another labor. Occupy the position of wise woman or wise man of your tribe. Into the Ocean Without Shores by Rabia Ben Kap, who was an Iranian poet. The wild woman said, love is an invisible ocean without shores, and wise people don't go in it. The singers in this room say, hey, let's get wet. I say, to hell with that, let's swim. The old man whispers and reminds us, let's sink into that ocean of love. Then the seventh one is to be expected to present a political point of view. All the poets I know are some of the bravest people, the most courageous people. You wouldn't be writing poetry if you weren't brave and courageous. This is tattoo my tears to my cheek grief. This isn't a 3-hour grief. Once I take a bath, I'll be fine kind. Twice, the earth reached into the cloudy main, shot seawater as a collective enema, and sneezed away 500,000 homes. Katrina and Rita were ballet girls, larger than European countries, dancing and spinning and kicking with oblivious beauty. Without the satellite photos, would we even know their loveliness? Was it planned for the girls to clear out the bayou sinuses? We snot-nosed humans dripped our pathetic concoctions into an ailing gulf, and like germs, we raised a fever in its head. This grief is not the month-long kind. Once I find a new love, I'll be fine kind. This is the holding grief forever kind, placing the gems of delight and joy in a molten ring of sorrow and never take it off kind. This is every poor man's dream is drowning, and every alligator and cottonmouth wants to escape for its life kind. This is a can't go back to when we were kings kind of grief. It's a tattoo my tears to my cheek kind, so that every time I smile, my tears will wrinkle, roll down my cheekbones but never fall kind. This is not the get-backs, drive-bys, revenge and rage kind. Try putting a bullet into a cloud. Try putting out its eye with a fire-hard stick or your sharpened grapefruit spoon, you idiot. This is not your fucking system fucked up kind, although we failed big time. So, the next one is keep communication open to nature. We've already heard some nature poems today. I've got a lot of them. Then the ninth one is be an open spokesman for joy. So I'll finish with this one, but the 10th one is keep a connection to the divine, like Emily Dickinson. Be an open spokesman for joy. This is called Joy Soup. I have a nephew who's a composer. He took this as his inspiration and won a jazz competition in New York, and we went out and titled the composition Joy Soup. It was instrumental, so we didn't use the words, but this is Joy Soup. There are nights when a veil drops and I see that we're swimming in a vast terrain of joy soup. Our mumbled songs, our hoarse shouts, our gurgling, rambling chants simmer over Glenn's crackling, flaming guitar. Our words are fruit grease, wiggling to the surface. Robert's poems are honeydews floating in the air. With a cherry in his voice, David sings to a goddess who smacks her lips at the aroma of our cooking souls. Light a match. My poems are just kindling for the stove. Let my words be incense thrown onto the charcoal. Let me be a sugar cube dropped into the tea.